This week you are reading works from politicians and religious scholars or practitioners, and you have a selection of reading that includes some of the more famous works of our government foundations, particularly the Declaration of Independence, of course. Another president you will read is Abraham Lincoln. Thomas Paine was never president, but when we are talking about the foundations of government, you really have to understand some of the values that were expressed by Thomas Paine. And he was really considered on the fringe with some of his ideas. So that's interesting that we now celebrate some of those values that he expresses. And of course, like with all humans, there are elements of hypocrisy that we sometimes find when people espouse to uphold a certain value. They fall short quite often. And that's just human nature. We want to have a certain value and practice that value in its purest sense, and we often fall short. And two writers that sort of point out where people are falling short are Judith Sargent Murray and William Apess. You'll hear Apess pronounced Apis and Apess. So whichever pronunciation feels more comfortable to you, you are welcome to use. I would love a definitive answer on that, but I've heard several scholars use something other than Apess, which is how I've always heard it, so who knows. Go ahead and find the readings in your textbook, whether you're using the online like I'm just clicked on here or the traditional version. I like a paper copy, but you have access to the online content. You just click here and you can find the table of contents is up here in this little link. Click on contents, and then you can scroll until you find the page numbers you are looking for. For example, if you are looking for a model of Christian charity, where did that one go? It was here. You may find that the page numbers that are in the printed document don't match up completely with the digital version. But when you click on the contents, table of contents, and you find the title you're looking for, you can just click it. Once you click it, though, you have to navigate using the right and left arrows here. And then you can see the shorter edition page numbers correspond to the page numbers that you have if you have the printed text. So the nice thing about the printed text is being able to write in your book and underline things, but you can still highlight things if you want to do so. You just use whatever is available to you as a highlighter. In addition to the reading, you have videos that and other additional content that will help you understand the works better. I have some questions that I have posted for you that you can simply download, and you can look at those and kind of keep up with some of the questions that you may be asked on the midterm or the final exam. These are intended to help you just find answers. The page numbers, unfortunately, are for older editions, so if you are looking at questions that have page numbers on them, we have an updated edition of the textbook, and so the content will correspond in chronology or in sequence, but the page numbers may be off. So anyway, the extra links are meant to help you understand a little better what's going on. Some of the content is just interesting versions or readings of the actual content. I love to hear a good audio version of old texts. It really brings it to life. Don't forget to do your discussion post. Here's a little video clip on individualism and collectivism. And we have enough texts we've been assigned that it would be great if you would all choose different quotations to use. All of you are going to answer these questions in general. Define individualism and collectivism. Talk about some positive or negative aspects of each that you can find. Positive and negative. All ideologies have their good sides and their bad sides, depending on the circumstances. And then I want you to identify the words of an author as either embracing individualism or collectivism. This would be part of a close reading exercise because we are going to read the words that are literally there. And so when we see things that address individuals, those would be individualist ideas. And that may contrast with some of the things that we understand about our culture, and the same with collectivist ideas. When we see words that convey a collectivist ideology, sometimes those ideas become more in line with an individualist culture, which is interesting to me. So I just want to see where you can find those places in the readings, and just talk about that phenomenon of how language is used in different cultures in different ways to express these two types of thinking, ways of being in the world and being in community. So give that a whirl. I'm interested to hear what you have to say. You guys have done some great posts already. So I can't wait to hear what you come up with. Ben Franklin Project still going strong. I was going to take it up a notch and have you also incorporate another quotation from someone else, but I'm going to keep it really straightforward and easy again this time. All you have to do is think about resolution this week, and then do the writing based on what the sample shows. Remember also, if you download this sample, that works cited that I created is the same one that you need for your post, your reflection. So also pay attention to how I integrate the quotation when I'm quoting Franklin's definition of the virtue. Again, mine is on temperance. That's the sample, but you are writing about resolution. So don't get confused. So far, we've done okay with that. All right. Do check announcements frequently. If students are asking questions about things, particularly some of you are already starting the poetry research or the poetry project, which requires some research, I will post answers to questions there. For example, somebody asked if you had to only use AVL, but you can use any reputable source for that. So, you have more at your disposal as far as research goes. And I will post more about that soon for you, especially if you have questions about how to do the research. All right. Have a great weekend. Have a great week. I look forward to reading your resolution reflections and hearing your posts.